And we're live.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or should I say good late afternoon if you're on the West Coast or on the Mid Coast, or good late night if you happen to be in France, like our friend Heather Taylor is. I was going to say Paris, but no, she's not in Paris. You're in the south of France, is that right?
I am in the south now. We just moved down to Montpellier. So
Wow,
it's spelled
that's
like my grandma pronounces it Montpellier, but I'm not sure how you would spell it.
is that near the Riviera? Is that what we're? Is that?
It is.
Wow,
Yeah.
I can only imagine. Well, fantastic. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the studentloanjustice.org live stream. My name is Alan Collins. We are the oldest, largest, in many ways, only true grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. So if you're new to the group, tell everyone you know with student loans about this group. If you know 5 people with student loans, 2 or 3 of them, statistically, were never going to be able to repay their loans, even before the pandemic. So everyone with student loans needs to know about this group. But for this group, we probably wouldn't be talking about canceling student loans by executive order. But for this group, most importantly, although you may not realize it, but for this group, we would not have a great bankruptcy bill to fight for, which lies at the core of everything. And maybe I'll get into that later, maybe not. But if I don't, just trust me on that. We've got a great bill in the Senate right now, S-2598. It is incredibly important that we get this bill, which returns bankruptcy protections to federal student loans, passed through the Senate. It's a bipartisan bill. It's got everything going for it. If you forget everything I say tonight, remember at least this. Go to our website, studentloanjustice.org, and do our daily actions. Thank you. Couple of quick announcements before we get started here. Get a shirt. Get a shirt. See the bit.ly link there, bit.ly.slj shirt. Please get a shirt. We rarely do merchandising stuff. Like once every few years, we may do a very limited edition t-shirt or hat thing. We're doing one right now, thanks to Lisa Ansel in Los Angeles, California. If we can sell, I think, 3 more shirts, then we can actually get the shirts printed and shipped. So these are extremely limited edition, very expensive. I'm just going to be honest. They're very expensive as far as t-shirts go, but they're beautiful. They're Nordstrom type quality. So whatever, I'm not a salesman. If you care about student loan justice, get a shirt. So I am thrilled to have with us today from the south of France, near the French Riviera, Miss Heather Taylor, our global leader. Heather has been featured in the Guardian newspaper, and she has done tremendous things from far afield, from outside of our borders. And I could not be more pleased to have Heather with us today. How's it going, Heather?
It's going pretty well. I'm feeling really good about where we're at right now. And I'll just say, originally I'm from Oregon, but I've been living in France for 4 years, and I found out that the rest of the world gets to go to college for free, and wondered why in the world I didn't get to do that, and then found Alan, and here we are.
Well, fantastic. Now, is there a power outage going on in France? Is there a blackout, or what's going on there?
No, just before we went live, my light bulb exploded, and we just moved. So I don't have any spares, and the show must go on, though.
I was just, for those of you in the audience, we are doing a film noir thing here tonight. Heather is with us. So probably one of the more important things, and Heather's doing a ton of stuff. I should say more. If you go to our GIPHY platform, so giphy.com/student loan justice, you will see just a treasure trove of incredibly useful and timely animated GIFs. And I'm told as of like a month ago, something like 7 million people had viewed these GIFs and hopefully used them. They're highly effective. Please use them. We are a working, fighting group. So, we're not here for your entertainment. We need everybody watching us, everybody on this group, to be helping us fighting. And a key part of that is spreading the word. And the words really the most effective words that we have are in the form of pictures at our giphy.com/student loan justice site. Oh, I should have probably typed that in. But please check it out. Heather deserves huge credit for that. I could go on, but we're here today to talk about a cool new thing that we're doing to help spread the word. And I think with that, I'll just hand it off to you, Heather.
All right. So I see some comments. People were having a hard time hearing me. Sorry, I'm on these little iPhone headphones. Um, Hopefully that's better. With our GIPHY page, we're, I think, almost at 8.5 million right now, but I'd like to see us at 1 billion views. We should have millions and millions of views. Okay, looks like it sounds better.
Agreed.
So please go to giphy.com/student loan justice, and you can pick gifts for your state. You can pick gifts that have to do with borrower stories, or we have theme gifts as well to check out. But gifts can only get us so far. Online art can only get us so far. We need to have people out in the streets talking to people who don't normally spend all of their time online worrying about or concerning themselves with the solutions for these problems just on the internet, right? A lot of people are talking about student loans with friends and family, but don't really know where to go or what to do or who can help them. And so I think we really need to be out there talking to people. So in AV Club, we've designed some QR code stickers to lead people to the Student Loan Justice site, and some flyers to lead people to a screening that is open right now for Sally May Not, our film starring Alan. It's part of the upcoming Scared to Death series, and that screening is going to be open through July 11th. So we've got flyers printed in black and white to save people on ink if you're printing them at home.
There's the flyers right there, guys.
Yep. And we try to leave some space so you could cut these in half easily, and the QR code will lead people right to the screening link.
And here is a bigger thing so that you can see that QR code.
Yep, and this one's a poster. So if you find a local business or at your school or on a community board where you can put up a poster to lead people to the screening event, any flyers or posters that you can hand out or put up in your community will help a lot with getting the word out for the screenings. So our director, Mike Moyne, has opened the screening window through, again, July 11th. So if you're going to parades this week or you're going to the 4th of July fireworks, you could be handing those out. And hopefully the black and white versions of these will make them more accessible. And we've also got gifts of the movie posters, like here in color on the GIPHY page. Oh, Alan was just on it there.
There you go. Yeah. This is what the color looks like, but black and white is way cheaper to print, so.
Yeah, definitely. And well, and the color one doesn't have the screening QR code on it. That one is just to kind of get the word out about the film online. But
good
these
point.
are for printing and posting and passing out. And at those QR code stickers for student loan justice specifically, we tried to design these to make sure that people know that this is a fiercely nonpartisan group. I know that Alan says that all of the time, but it bears repeating. And this QR code will lead people right to the website so that they can look at the research, find their Facebook group, or find all of our different social media accounts. And these you'll have to either order from Canva, which the link is was already posted earlier today on Twitter by Alan, and I put it up on my Twitter as well. It's also on the Student Loan Justice LinkedIn. Alan, have you put it up on Facebook yet today?
I have not yet put it on Facebook. I will put it in the comments below this live stream, though. So if people want to check back a few minutes after the live stream ends, We'll make sure to put it there. So
All
let
right.
me just recap real quick, just maybe
Yeah.
so I understand as well.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot.
what you're looking at now, guys, is the QR code for student loan justice. What you are looking at now is the poster and the QR code for the film that is screening right now and until July 11th. And I will be doing a link so that you can get easily to the screening after this live screen. What you are looking at now are very handy half-page flyers that you can print out, and we hope you will, and distribute them maybe at your local college campus, maybe um, uh, on the street, maybe flyer your local shopping center at your local shopping mall. Who knows? Be creative, have some fun with it, and definitely get the word out. This film is really important, guys, and the quicker we can generate a lot of publicity around it, the quicker it will come out to the masses, which is the most important thing. As you know, right now is the critical time in the solution of this problem. And so the more people can pitch in and spread the word about this film, the more better. Um,
And it's such a powerful film. And I don't know about you, Alan, but I get pretty exhausted explaining the same points to people over and over again that are online that are in the film. That if they just watch the film, they would understand. It's a powerful movie, and it really helps people understand how we got here and why what's happening right now to students, to borrowers, current, former, and future students, is so critical to address. And
Yeah,
I just,
we were really careful when we made this film to get only the signal and not the noise. There is so much noise out there. We were very careful in the guests that we interviewed, and people can come away with a very clear understanding of the student loan problem by watching this film. Like, it is by far and away the best, and there's a lot of crap out there. So maybe it's a low bar, but certainly this is by far and away the clearest, most efficient, and I think the most compelling um, take, angle, whatever you want to call it, on the student loan problem, um, particularly from the borrower perspective. So help out, guys, and you can always go to scared to debt movie.com as well to check it out. But for sure, check out the screening, and I hope you'll agree. Um, and obviously, anything that you can do to spread the word. Maybe some people and some distributors in Hollywood or something where we can quickly get a mass distribution deal, etc. All those things are very helpful, guys. We're all very smart people. We can all be clever and creative and make very maybe not predictable, but very good things happen with our own unique skills, talents, networks, etc. Um, so thank you, Heather. Thank you for that. Um, I might also add, Heather got the last word in a what is looking more and more like a seminal article in the Guardian newspaper. I want to say, was that last summer? I think it was almost a year ago now.
it was last May. Yep.
Last May. Okay, good. So interestingly, just so you all, particularly those who've been around the group for more than 2 years, when we first started the petition, the very headline of the petition was cancel student loans, no money required from the Treasury, nothing added to the national debt. That was like the big selling point of our petition that we started in March 2020. Well, here we are 2 years later. We've got over 1 million people on the petition, and we've been all over the media, etc. But to date, none of the mainstream media in the United States would make that point, that canceling student loans, unlike PPP loans, by the way, requires not one dime from the Treasury and adds not one nickel to the national debt. Well, I'm here to tell you today, thankfully, a writer, Indigo Riviera, I believe, at the Guardian newspaper. Guardian's been really good to us lately. speaking of the Guardian, this writer wrote an article that makes those two exact points. Finally, so I don't know what it is about expatriates and like out of country media, but it seems to be working. So hopefully we can continue that trend. Hopefully we can get some American media to start telling the simple truths about this problem.
I would certainly hope so, but at least Americans are reading the Guardian.
That's true. And by the way, read the Guardian. I've seen better reporting on the student loan problem from outfits like obviously the Guardian, but and I'm being very truthful here, folks. I've seen better reporting on the student loan problem from places like Al Jazeera, like RT, believe it or not. I'm also going to say CCTV, Chinese Central Television, has literally done better reporting on the student loan problem than most, if not almost all, of American media, with very few exceptions. So that's great, Heather. So what are your plans? I know you do a lot of work with well, we're a very nonpartisan group. I know that you do some work with Democrats abroad in France. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so I've been basically the voice of student loan cancellation for student loan justice within Democrats Abroad for also over a year now. But with the move, we just moved a couple of weeks ago, so I haven't been as active with Democrats Abroad lately. I'm feeling like I'm not going to vote as a Democrat if these loans aren't canceled. So it's really kind of yeah, I don't know how to word it.
It breaks my heart to see dyed-in-the-wool Democrats, literally exceedingly angry at Joe Biden and the sort of elitist wing of the Democratic Party in Washington, D.C. But I can only say you're not alone. I don't know which party I hate worse at this point. I'm technically registered Democrat, but the next time I register to vote, it will be as an independent. I don't know which party I am more angry with at this point. It's kind of like the Republicans are trying to make us feel terrible and keep this lending scam going. In fact, turn the lending system back on and make it even meaner. Whereas the Democrats are sort of wringing their hands and stringing us along and kind of blowing smoke up our you-know-whats. So is it the good cop that you hate worst, or the bad cop? I don't know. It's a very difficult position, but maybe one of the points of light to all of this, guys, is we got this. This lending system has failed, and student loan borrowers right now today represent the largest politically untethered voting bloc in the history of the United States of America. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. There are something like 57 million people who either have federal student loans or either have or are co-signed on private student loans. And of those 57 million people, and I'm being conservative now here, ladies and gentlemen, of those 57 million people, 80% were never going to be able to repay their loans even before COVID hit. And quite frankly, I think that's closer to 85% as of a year ago, according to a guy named Wayne Johnson, who literally ran the federal lending program under President Trump. So 80% of 57 million people is like 42 million people. These are 42 million distressed student loan borrowers. And interestingly, they're split almost down the middle between Democrats and Republicans and independents. Republicans and independents both together. So this is a nonpartisan voting bloc, 42 million people strong, or maybe even 57 million, arguably. But there's 42 million of these people are losing sleep at night over their student loans and are going to be very motivated to vote one way or the other, depending on who is actually fighting for us rather than wagging their fingers at us or teasing us. Hint, hint, hint. GOP and DNC and RNC. Um,
Well, and I'd add that it's probably even more people than that that are going to vote based on the outcome of what happens with student loan cancellation, because all of those millions of people also have people that care about them and cares what happens to them and don't want them to die with these student loans. And you know, my grandparents don't have student loan debt, but they're not going to vote for a candidate that's going to keep me in this situation, right? So uh,
and
they're
if would you say your grandparents tend to be a little more right leaning or left leaning, or how's that?
they are right leaning, though at the moment I think that they're at the place where most of us are, which is what does it matter? We're not getting any help from either party.
Right. I think that is. I know a lot of people talk about third parties all the time, every 4 years, and they come and they go and they're a blip on the radar and nothing ever happens. But I just have to say, in my 52 years on this planet, I have never seen a population more disgusted with both parties. And I think we, the student loan borrowers in the country, are really at the vanguard of that whole thing. So, a word to the wise, DNC and RNC, you people ignore us at your great, great peril, and you wag your fingers at us at your massive, massive, great, great peril. So, pretty much don't screw with us. And there's an electoral bonanza waiting, as Joe Biden proved, by the way, because he was able to pull out very relatively conservative states like, for example, Georgia. I think Arizona, most would say, was a pretty conservative state. Um, Student loans did that for Joe Biden. So, but now all bets are off. We are no longer tethered at all, I think, to either party. So time will tell. And the clock is ticking, I might also add. November is coming up quickly, and the Democrats have a lot to atone for, most notably Joseph R. Biden, who has not only a lot of baggage in his closet from years past, but he has got some very serious explaining to do for his, up to this point, what has proven out as a blatant betrayal of his pre 2020 election promises. So, I'm sorry, Heather, was there anything else you wanted to add?
Um, I mean, I was going to see if I could catch him. I keep telling people I'm going to vote for my cat instead, but he just ran off.
Well, maybe we should start our own student loan justice party. What do you think? We can do a write-in campaign. Who knows? Maybe we'll nominate a loaf of cheese, and people can write in this loaf of cheese. How does that sound?
Well, I mean, if every single student loan borrower actually decided to vote with the Student Loan Justice Party, we could win and swing every election forever. So,
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that, shall we? Let's hope that
I
the
hope not.
grown-ups in the room,
It's too
namely
much work.
yeah, that's a lot of work. Let's hope the grown-ups in the room, the established power brokers, power players, etc., in Washington D.C., the DNC, the RNC, let's hope that they finally come around to doing the obvious right thing, return bankruptcy to the loans. Number one, kind of lies at the core of everything. Cancel every nickel of federally owned student loans, or arguably even federally guaranteed student loans. Cancel every nickel that can be canceled administratively, in other words. End and replace this lending system with something that works, and talk to Heather if you need guidance on that. She can tell you all about the French program, the French system, or talk to any number of our expatriate members from countries like Germany or Australia or Sweden or Finland or even Mexico or Russia or probably Cuba. I don't know. We may not have any Cubans on our group, but certainly we have people from, I think, nearly every other country on the planet who would be more than happy to show you a higher education lending or financing model that works way better than this catastrophically failed lending scam that we are now saddled with here stateside in the U.S.
Well, in fact, there are only 4 UN member countries that have not had higher education as a human right since 1966. Um, President Carter signed the treaty for us to have free higher education as a human right in 77, and Congress has spent all their energy blocking that human right and other human rights that were included in the same treaty, like free healthcare, since.
So interesting. You know, America refused to join the League of Nations back in the 20s after World War One, and now you're telling me that a human rights document from the UN, which the U.S. did join, was signed by a president and not ratified by Congress.
Yes.
That is just outrageous.
And it's been about nearly 50 years here.
All right, guys. Well, hey, I don't know about solving all of the world's problem, but we certainly are on a good path to get this stupid student loan conniption done, solved, and in the rearview mirror here on this group right now, hopefully before the November elections. It could happen. So take it from Heather. And if anybody wants to contact Heather directly, you can hit her at Heather at studentloanjustice.org. You can always write me at Alan, ALAN, studentloanjustice.org. But I think I'll sign off with that. We're about 26 minutes now. But Heather, thank you so much. And just
Thank you
rewind this
to
video if anything is unclear. But all the stuff I said and all the stuff Heather said, do that. We need you.
thank you to everyone in AV Club and on the film team, and to you, Alan and Ed, and all of the work that you're all putting in is making a difference. I can feel it. We're gonna win because we have to win. Right? So.
We're not going anywhere. That is for darn sure. And we've never been closer. And, you know, I have to give Heather a lot of credit for that. I just do. We haven't had the sort of internet presence ever before Heather decided to take the bull by the horns and make some things happen. Everybody out there can be doing what I and Heather are doing. It only takes a little bit of initiative on your part. And who knows, you may have your own studentloanjustice.org email address someday. So if that's a prize worth having, you could be our next volunteer leader with your own email address. So, okay, folks, I'm going to leave it there at that, but have a great night. Ed will be with you tomorrow. I will be with you on Friday. And again, if you have any questions or comments, you know where to hit us. All right, good luck, Godspeed, and God bless everyone. Peace.
Good night.